Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
If that fight ends up being close,
yes,
a lot of people are going to watch that fight, right?
A lot, because I think a lot of people are going to want to see Jake.
Floyd Mayweather has strongly criticized the suggestion of Jake Paul facing Canelo Alvarez, asserting that Jake would be overpowered. Mayweather argued that while Jake may appear impressive against YouTubers and non-professional fighters, he would face significant challenges when competing against top-tier boxers. He believes that once Jake enters the ring with a fighter of Canelo's caliber, it would be the end of the line for him.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he? And Floyd, there are many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever. Period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter, a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Does he have the ability, with what you've seen, to continue to mold himself into somebody who can actually? He told me before his goal is to fight Canelo, so that's where his mindset's at.
It get fucked up by Canelo. Oh, I'm sorry. It's TMG.
You can curse.
I apologize, but
no apologize about.
There's no way he get demolished. But for what he's doing, as long as they keep getting YouTubers and keep putting them.
Canelo Alvarez is known for being a savvy businessman, choosing fights that offer both competition and big paydays. Jake Paul believes this is why Canelo will eventually fight him. Jake sees himself as boxing's top entertainer, attracting fans who want to see him win or lose. He argues that his pay-per-view success will make a fight with Canelo financially worthwhile for both.
I think it's very, very realistic. And people may think that sounds crazy, but Canelo is a smart businessman, and at the end of the day, he wants to do big fights and make entertainment, make huge entertainment products. And my skill set is improving every single day, and that's what doing fights like this are about: taking on real professional fighters, so that eventually I could take on tougher fighters. And I see Canelo versus Jake Paul happening in the next 24 months. It just makes so much sense. And also, people forget that I'm 200 pounds. I have a size advantage. All of these things that start to add up, which make it such an interesting fight that I fully believe I'll win. There's the KSIs, the Tommy Furies, the Nate Diaz MMA fight, but I don't know if these guys actually want to put it on the line. We've tried to make a Floyd fight happen. Floyd's ducked it. So I don't know if these guys really want to take a risk.
Jeff Mayweather, a respected figure in boxing, dismissed the idea of Jake Paul fighting Canelo Alvarez, calling it unrealistic. He joked that Jake might as well claim he wants to fight Muhammad Ali. Jeff criticized Jake for calling out top boxers without proving himself against real competition, and he believes Canelo would never take the fight as it wouldn't be a competitive match.
All right, here with Jeff Mayweather. Jeff, appreciate taking the time. Unfortunately, the Hasim Rahman Jr. Jake Paul fight has been canceled. Jake said something very interesting, though. He said that the big fight out there right now is Canelo. And he said, hey, Canelo can be beat. Bivol gave the blueprint, and I'm just like Bivol. I have the same powers, similar attributes, speed, elusiveness. He's basically I don't want to say carbon copy, but he's very similar to Bivol, so he would match up favorably with Canelo. Hard to argue. He's undefeated so far, and boxers are ducking him. What do you think?
Well, maybe. Why don't he just fight Bivol then? Canelo's already fight somebody.
Yeah, but
Triple G.
But Canelo's the money, right?
Not anymore.
He's more money than Bivol.
He's probably more money than
Especially if he beats Triple G.
Yeah, he's still probably more money than him. But the thing is that nobody's even gonna take that serious. You can say all you want to. You can say you can fight Muhammad Ali. You can say you can fight whoever. Ain't nobody taking that serious.
But why not Canelo? So Canelo wants money fights. Jake is, it's pretty undeniable. He's the hottest prospect in boxing right now. He's undefeated. He's also one of the biggest draws in boxing. So why would that not be a fight to make? Or do you think that's something Canelo figures it would look bad if he didn't come through positively in that fight?
I think that it's a fight that Jake is just yelling just to make himself look like he's legitimate. But of course, he has a coach that would never let him fight Canelo.
You wouldn't favor him in that fight against Canelo?
The topic was brought up on Ariel Helwani's podcast, where it was firmly stated that a Jake Paul versus Canelo Alvarez fight is never going to happen. They made it clear that there's no scenario in which this fight could take place. It's not just unlikely, it's impossible.
Influencer versus pound for pound great being the hang up in the fight, being the one that stops the momentum. Because it's not happening. There is no world.
Okay, then let me ask you
May I be
this.
struck by lightning right now if this is possible?
Wow, a lightning bet from.
If this happens,
Right.
if this happens.
There's just no way. There is no way.
Wait. If what happens? If the fight happens, or if the upset of
if
the
Jake
century
Paul,
happens?
If Jake Paul derails Terrence Crawford versus Canelo by
All credit to
beating
him.
Canelo,
then you book
there's
Jake
no
Paul
chance.
versus Terrence Crawford.
Zero.
Okay, let me ask you this. If that fight ends up being close,
Yes.
a lot of
It
people
won't.
are going to watch that fight, right?
A lot,
Yes.
because I think a lot of people are going to want to
Let's-
see Jake Paul lose, and
100%.
Let-
Canelo's going to
Alvarez
do
is
this.
gonna be like a
Canelo
-2,000
would do
favorite.
this. And we're
Let's
just talking.
backtrack to your first question, which is interest. I'm very interested because, as I've long said, I'm on this corner. I only care about Jake Paul in spectacles. It would be an absolute spectacle to see a pound for pound. First, he did Mike Tyson, which, and I'm not going all the way back, but I'm saying in his most recent outing, Mike Tyson, an all-time legend, a pop culture icon, versus Jake Paul is a spectacle. Now you're going the opposite direction to nearly in his prime. We'll say maybe like he's on the back nine, but he's still close to his prime. He's still a top 5 pound for pound on pretty much anybody's list fighter. Going against Jake Paul, I'm in for the spectacle. I'm in. I don't think Jake Paul has a chance in hell, but I'm in for the spectacle.
And how long has he been beating the drum on this? He's been saying he's going to do this forever.
That he's
Listen,
gonna
let's
fight
see
Canelo.
what
So
happens.
credit to him if it happens.
They believe Jake is delusional if he thinks he can fight Canelo. Former world champion Carl Fr. also joined the conversation, warning that if the fight were to happen, it would end badly for Jake. Fr., a vocal critic of Jake's boxing skills, is adamant that Jake isn't experienced enough to face someone of Canelo's caliber. He said Jake would be thoroughly outclassed and could even be hurt in the process. Fr. pointed out that Canelo is a ruthless competitor who doesn't hold back, and if Jake steps into the ring with him, he won't just lose, he'll be completely exposed.
He'd mentioned me before, and there'll be people out there saying, oh, Carl Froch's talking about himself, he's after a payday. Listen, I'm not after a payday. I'm doing all right. There's no problems with my finances. But I'll take the fucking payday, of course I will. And I'll end Jake Paul with one punch. I'd go in there one-armed and beat this guy. He can't box. He's absolutely fucking useless, which we saw last night with Mike Tyson. Talking about Canelo Alvarez. I've not mentioned Canelo Alvarez because it's just laughable. Jake Paul, Canelo Alvarez. Can you imagine? I mean, if Jake Paul fancies that and he jumps in the ring with him, I will pay homage to him because fair play, if he jumps in there with Canelo Alvarez, he'll get absolutely fucking destroyed and it will be fast and it will be messy and it will be bad for his health as well, potentially.
Paul could be fighting next. I can't give you the insight. I can't give you the insight. Just know that announcement coming real soon. Real soon. Let me ask you a question then. Obviously, you're not going to tell me. Okay. You keep moving. Come here. All right, my bad.
You said that you'd like to go up against Canelo Alvarez. What gives you the right to call out a 59-2 boxer, one of the greatest of all time, when you've not yet proven yourself?
I'm predicting what's going to happen
In
3
the
more years from
3
now.
years, so 3
I'm going to
years.
get to his skill level and beat him. I have one of the greatest self-belief systems in the world, and I know what I'm capable of. And with this new team, I can give Canelo a serious run for his money.
Would you ever do like exhibitions like that, or like people like Jake Paul call you out, or these like other big stars? Like, is that business-wise like even worth it?
When I'm done with boxing, why not? Maybe I'll do it. I think it's
Like when you're done like competing at the highest level, you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's good because what happened there is other people who never watch boxing or they don't know anything about boxing, they wanna watch Jake Paul because he's coming from he bring fans from other world, right?
Yeah.
That's good because everybody enjoy it.
Would you ever entertain that idea when you're done?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Do you have a call out in mind? Or are you kind of just going to see where it takes?
No, I mean, I do. It's Canelo. This moment will prove that I'm the face of boxing, the largest attraction. Me versus Canelo at 200 pounds for the cruiserweight championship is the biggest fight, arguably even bigger than me versus Tyson, and it makes so much sense. And Canelo's on his way out. He's gonna want a payday, and I want to show the world that all the shit I've been talking about beating Canelo is actually true, and I'll have the biggest upset in the sport of boxing, and we will fight to really see who is the face. After this event, I'm gonna be claiming it. I beat his gate record. I'm beating the ticket sales, all of that stuff. So I'm gonna be the new money man.
Dangerous. There's always somebody coming right behind you. And these guys who've been at the top so long, you're like, all right, let me get somebody that's on my level. Canelo, he's been in the game just as long as me. And all right, let's just do this for this paycheck and then move on.
I think when they get to a certain level and they realize they only have a few fights left, they want the big money fights. And Canelo is obviously the biggest money fight. Even though Boots Ennis is a great fighter, most people don't know who he is yet.
Yeah.
And with Canelo, everybody knows who Canelo is. If you get the Canelo fight, that's red panties night. If Jake Paul wasn't Jake Paul, if he wasn't this YouTube guy, he was just a boxer, and you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever, knock him out with one punch like that, like, oh man, have you seen this Jake Paul dude coming up? He's fucking for real. Because nothing about watching him fight, to me, screams like he's in over his head. Nothing. He looks like a real boxer.